holy crap, this show is so great. It's fun. The performances are amazing. The choreography, there's a little bit of blood. It's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
How would you two describe the relationship between these friends? Because it's so deep.
Totally.
Yeah. There's some trauma bonding going on.
For sure.
Mhm.
I mean, they're an oddball duo for sure, which actually, to be honest, I mean, maybe we are an oddball duo.
For sure.
So it's not like it's not too much of a reach. Someone just called us both insane. So we're still in process.
Accurate.
But I will say that one of my favorite things about working with Zosia is that she just like brings depth. Even though the character is like quirky, there is a level of like depth and dimension to everything she plays. But I got to see it live, and I'll never forget. There was one day where we're shooting a scene in episode 2 where we're talking about going to Ruby's ex-boyfriend's wedding, and it's a kind of a intimate scene, and it's the first moment you get to kind of look into Ruby's sort of selfishness and see that she's actually having a hard time because she wants to look for love. Everybody else has figured it out and she still hasn't. And I remember doing that scene with Zosia, and they called cut, and we both looked into each other's eyes, and I said to her, I was like, your heart is so big. You have big heart. Do you remember that?
I will never forget that moment.
But it was like that. I think once you have that level, like just instant connection, and also this level of like heart bond, everything else is like her heart. I mean, we both have big, like
you have big heart. Big heart.
Show them, get the tat now. Hashtag ZTat.
You can tell we really dislike each other.
That is wonderful. Well, Zosia, what's Stephanie like to work with? What can you say about working with her?
I mean, it really, the feeling is so deeply mutual. You know, I think we both come to comedy in a very similar way. And I think we've both gotten to work on really like tangy comedies together, you know, that maybe aren't necessarily a like ba-dum laugh, but are like a bit more exploratory than that. And I think we're very much in agreement, and as are Sally and Ninotchka, the creators, in the fact that comedy is really just, it's a shadow side to like true trauma and darkness. It's why like people laugh at funerals. And I think when you meet someone else who approaches comedy in that way, you get to really kind of like go spelunking underneath what all of that subtext is while getting to say those incredible words. But immediately I could tell that that's how Steph worked. And I was like, oh, we're going to have a really great time getting to the meat on the bones of like what our show and these scenes are actually saying, while hopefully being able to make people laugh. And it was just like, oh my God, getting to work with someone like that makes you just feel like you're flying. It's like why I wanted to be an actor.
It's to spelunk.
I just wanted to say spelunking. That's the whole.
We're gonna be singing all day.
We're gonna be singing spelunking all day long.
That is what we did. We spelunked.
We spelunked, right? Yeah, with our little tiny headlamps. He's like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah. He's like, bye.
No, this is amazing. I could literally talk about the show for an hour. Like it is amazing, the depth. I love everything about it. The only question I'll ask is, what do you think is going to surprise people? Because there are so many surprises, but what do you think in particular about the style of the show?
Well, I did get to sit in on a screening recently, a little spy. And, you know, we've read all the scripts. We were there. We did all the scenes. And I do forget how shocking some moments are. And there were a lot of screams and a lot of like, oh my God. But I was just cackling because I was like, yeah, that was funny. That day was rainy, you know? So I think that this is it's a really joke-driven show, but also the plot is just so exciting and fun. So I think there really is a surprise at every turn, and there really is something in it for everybody.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Thank you both so much for the time. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see more shows.
Thank you.
Thank you.